what are those called? Glow sticks. Everyone, and welcome to All of the Chug. I'm Taylor and we are here today to talk about Halloween. And before we start and give you these cool tips and tricks, we wanted to do a little costume reveal for Olive this year of what she will be for Halloween. So if you do follow our YouTube and you are subscribed, which you should be, you get to see her costume first before anyone else sees it on our other platform like Instagram and the website. So here is what Olive is for Halloween this year. Okay, now that you've seen that Olive is going to be a hot dog this year for Halloween, which is super, super cute. For the information in this video, we're going to categorize it to two categories. The first is how to kind of care and help your dog if you're keeping it home for Halloween. And then the second is if you're going to take it with you trick-or-treating for Halloween. And we have information for both types of people, but we're going to start with the home-based people because that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to stay home and hand out candy this year, which means Olive and Minnie will be at the door greeting people for Halloween. So let's get to it. So let's start with keeping your dog home for Halloween. The thing you want to consider is that you do have a dog that will potentially be at the door with you when you are opening it to trick-or-treaters. And I know this might seem like a fun idea, especially if you're gonna dress your dog up and you have this like cute little dog in costume. The kids are gonna like it. Most people will, but one thing I like to keep in mind is that not everybody likes dogs. Some people have had bad experiences with dogs. Some kids don't really understand dog body language, or they've seen dogs in scary situations. So especially because it's kids that are going to be coming to your door and trick-or-treating, you want to keep in mind that they might not like your dog at the door. So the first step I'm going to be taking to keep this in mind is that I'm going to gate off my door, and that way my dogs aren't right up against it with me. And this serves two purposes. If someone is fearful of dogs, they're going to see very quickly that the dog is gated off and is behind a barrier. So they could still see the dog, they could still see their costume, but it's not going to be kind of like you know, at their level, in their face kind of a situation. The second reason I'm gonna gate off my door so the dogs cannot get right up to it is that Minnie, being a terrier, loves to go outside and she loves to play in our front yard. Our front yard is actually fenced, but for Halloween I'm planning on keeping the gate open to our fence so people can just walk in and out to our yard. But with that happening, if Minnie were to dart out of the door, despite me trying not to let her, if she does dart out and that gate's open, she will be gone. So what I'm going to do is gate off my door so when I open it, she's less likely to get out and to escape with me, you know, opening it so often with trick-or-treaters. Tip number 2, going along the lines of kids and dogs that might not mix. One thing I'm gonna do is put up a little warning sign that I do have dogs in my house. And so I thought of some really cute phrases you could do. So I'll start with my own. So I've made this little sign that I'm actually gonna hang on my door Halloween night. And it says, "Warning, zombie chihuahuas." It has a little picture of 2 chihuahuas that are zombies. The artist that drew this is actually 157 of Gemma on Instagram. She does a lot of pug cartoons, which is where I got this, so shout out to her. But I just created this little sign letting people know that there are zombie chihuahuas in my house, and I keep it Halloween themed, so it's still cute, but it lets people know I have 2 dogs. And it lets them know what kind of dog I have inside. It's chihuahuas. So they might hear barking when they ring the doorbell, but a parent can assure their child, you know, it's just a chihuahua, it's small, they're not gonna do anything. Other sign ideas I thought is if you could say, you know, gentle giant inside and have like a picture of a large dog. Another one you could say is something like tiny werewolves, or warning, werewolf inside with a picture of your dog. Again, it's keeping the Halloween theme, but just letting people know you do have a dog that might be at the door. Or if a dog is barking when it hears the doorbell, they know there's nothing to fear, that you have control of that dog. And another one is just to put like all bark, no bite, again with a picture of the dog. So it's just a good idea. I framed mine. So when I put it up on Halloween night, you know, it stays nice, it's framed, people will see it, it's at the door, and they know exactly what to expect and what will be behind that door when I open it. And some people also take their dogs trick-or-treating, and that's a good reason to also have this sign on the door, because if someone has a dog, they might want to make sure they kind of step back with it so your dog doesn't see their dog. and that kind of. Another thing that you want to keep in mind if you're keeping an indoor dog, you know, with you on Halloween, is that if you are handing out candy of any kind, you want to be aware of your dog getting into the candy bowl, especially if it's chocolate, because we all know that chocolate is toxic to dogs. So if you are keeping a bowl out and you have a tall dog that could reach the bowl, you might want to put the bowl into like a cabinet or something where a dog cannot like open the cabinet to get to the bowl, or even higher on a bookshelf. I do have my Chihuahuas, so I can keep my bowl here on this entertainment center and they're not going to be able to reach it. But just be aware, your dog is going to smell food out and know you are handing food out. They're going to hear the wrappers crinkling, the doorbell's going. It's going to be a very high energy time, and you just want to kind of save yourself peace of mind that you know at least that's out of the way and that your dog's not going to get to it. Alternatively, if you are handing out candy and you have a dog, I also like to keep dog treats on hand, and when I'm giving out candy, I'll ask people, do you have a dog at home? And then I'll give them a dog treat as well. You don't have to buy anything expensive or fancy, and you could also make your own dog treats and hand out the handmade ones. I have a video on that will be in the little iCards here that you could watch on how to make your own dog treats, and they're pumpkin and they're great and amazing, and Olive loves them and is like, she begs for them daily. So you can make your own, you could buy some. Alright, now we've reached the second part of this video, which is if you were choosing to take your dog with you trick-or-treating. So there are some separate guidelines to follow regarding this. Along the same lines as, you know, you don't know whose house you're going to, you don't want to just take your dog right up front to someone's door. Stand back a little bit, stand at the end of the porch, or maybe down the driveway. Just keep the dog away until someone has opened the door, and then you can read their reaction. If they say, oh, you know, what a cute dog, it's so sweet, then you could offer, oh, could they come up and you know, and smell you? Or if someone's like, oh, like, you know, a little offish, or they don't mention the dog, then you know to just keep it back. So if you are taking your dog with you trick-or-treating, be courteous of others. You know, you are going to their house, and if they're opening their house out of kindness, you kind of want to return that by keeping your dog away until you get the signal or the okay that your dog is welcome at their home. Stand back also in case they have a dog. If that dog comes out, it buys you a little bit of time because you're away to, you know, do something to get your dog safe, or the owner will see your dog down there and then they'll know to kind of push their dog out of the way. So just keep in mind that you don't know who's on the other side of that house door, and you want to protect you and your dog and let the kid enjoy the trick-or-treating. That's the reason for them and why they're there. Another thing to consider is even if you do not approach doors with your dog, some people like to leave their garages open. In general, I even keep this in consideration when I walk my dogs on a daily basis, but people like to keep their garages open, and especially on Halloween, some do because they will pass out candy from the garage. People who have dogs sometimes like to have their dogs with them in the garage. Just keep in mind, if you see an open garage, kind of approach it hesitantly or cross the street and then cross back once you pass that house. It's just a good rule to keep in mind, and like I said, I even do this daily when I walk Olive and Minnie. I avoid open garages. I've had so many situations where a dog has run out of a garage, and I'm so paranoid of it now. So just avoid the open garage. I'm just trying to keep you and your dog safe here. Also, most people trick-or-treat at night, so it's gonna be dark, right? So if you are trick-or-treating at night, it's a good idea to have some kind of light up something on your dog, on its collar. So either buy like a little glow light or a flashlight. You can have a glow stick that, you know, the glow bracelets, and just loop that around the collar, or you have a little light or something, reflective tape, have something that glows on your dog, because people may see you and that you're out, but especially dogs that are lower and kind of out of eye level, not everybody's gonna be seeing that your dog is there. So have something glowing on your dog so it indicates, yes, I have a dog. You know, if you're crossing the street, it's much safer. And the last thing I wanna mention when you take your dog out trick-or-treating, have it harnessed, make sure it's fully secure, and just kind of take into account your dog's own personality. I would never take Olive out trick-or-treating because it's a lot of people, it's a lot of stress. She is half Chihuahua and she has that Chihuahua personality, and so small little things spook her sometimes, and I wouldn't want to take her out in that situation. Minnie, on the other hand, loves everybody and loves everything, and so I would be fine actually taking her out trick-or-treating if I were to go. Hopefully this video will help you feel much more prepared for Halloween. I know Olive and I are ready to go. She's got her costume, and so does Minnie, and so I will see you next week, next Friday. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Really, We have great stuff coming, so you don't want to miss it. And I love the holidays, and we have tons of holiday things to do. So see you next week. Bye!